Good Tuesday afternoon, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love CVille Show. We're live in Charlottesville, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. This show is all about positivity and the people that make this community phenomenal. And the gentleman that we have on our set today is not just a gentleman, he's a scholar, he's a Renaissance man, he's a former educator, he's a restaurateur, he's a husband, he's a father, he's a family man, and I'm proud to call Bashir my friend. I want to go to Bashir right away, Judah Wickower, first the studio camera, and then let's welcome Bashir to this set. And I'll tell you, I'm going to get out of your way. One of the highlights of my day is walking from this studio to the post office and seeing you in front of your restaurant.
It's a ritual.
Every single time I see you in front of your restaurant on the downtown mall, you have a smile on your face. You're positive, and you have something good to say about the person you interact with. You're a breath of fresh air, Bashir.
Thank you. I'll explain to you why I do that.
And please do it in the mic so we can hear you.
Thank you. I was born in the city of Algiers in North Africa, born under colonialism, oppression, things like that. So I learned to appreciate life, because whatever difficulty I encountered in my life is nothing compared to the ones I grew up as a kid. My generation was called in Algeria the ones who had no childhood. So when you come across things in life, like people complain about, you say, okay, there's nothing I can do about it, smile. That's why I put some time on Facebook. I always tell people, always try to find something positive, in something, even if it's hard sometimes to do it. But try, because the alternative is scary. Getting depressed. Remember when I lost my business, Blackstone, because of partners? Somebody came to me and asked me, aren't you angry? Aren't you this? I said, to tell you the truth, I said, in my heart I have room for betterness, not bitterness. What's the use? The Italians have a nice saying too. I put it, they say, a day without smile is a lost day. So let's be positive, let's be nice to each other. That's all it is. Okay, Judah, if we need to come on set, please do. Bashir's Taverna on the Charlottesville Downtown Mall. I am going to straight up say this. The mayor of downtown Charlottesville is sitting across from me on set. Randy Yaskal watching, says you're an unbelievable person. You have 5 states watching. So kind.
You have a lot of folks in Charlottesville watching. Bashir, anywhere you want to go. Where do you want to start?
Let's start about what brought me to Charlottesville.
Yes, sir.
My family and I were very tight-knit, as you know, from my grandson Alexander to my daughter Andrea. I moved to Charlottesville. I missed the grandkids. I missed the family. And I was reluctant before I came here because being in New York City, the music I was involved in, the university teaching, I was kind of reluctant to give up that. It's a comfort zone in security. So I came down to visit from time to time. My daughter went to UVA, Andrea Asher. And I discovered incredible things about Charlottesville. We talk in 1996, the dark area for the mall, which I hope we're not going to get there. And I discovered TJU, I discovered incredible culture in this town, whether classical, whether ethnic, whether you name it, PBS, everything. I said, wow, I think we're going to be, and I met some musicians. That was the decisive moment. So it took me a year to make up my mind. We opened a place called Blackstone. That's the reason I came here. And then from Blackstone, I moved downtown mall. I was kind of reluctant too, because when I was at Blackstone, what used to be Albemarle Square, is that it?
Albemarle Square?
Yeah. Always this kind of crowd that will come and hang around there. Dave Matthews came in, everybody. But they were not the same as the mall. They were people who will, excuse me, guys, try to convert you. They will come and try to convert you to go to their church. And I didn't come to Charlottesville for that. I'm a spiritual man. I'm a man of faith. But I believe in the independence of faith. I don't want anybody to tell me who to believe in because it's the same God for everybody. It's just a different sweater, but we all believe in the same God. The God of Jesus, Moses, Muhammad is the same. We all pray to it. And I loved it. I established myself. It was hard at the beginning when I opened in the Kebash's building, and I built the Renaissance. And I have to thank 2 people for that period. the late Gabe Silverman,
Yes.
and Oliver Kuttner.
Yes.
Oliver Kuttner and Gabe, they came in, they saw my food, everything, and they went out of their way to help me establish the. Then we made the New York Times gradually, we made Der Spiegel. Then I started feeling comfortable, and when the city gave me the bigger space, I opened it with their help, of course. They were very nice to me. That's basically it, but I'm so glad that I ended up in Charlottesville. People here, besides being decent, creative, entrepreneurial, tolerant, open-minded, it's great. I remember when 9/11 happened, Jerry from Albemarle Baking Company and Vincent, knowing my ethnicity, came to me, oh, you're going to spend the night with us, you're a new wife, and this, we don't want anything happen to you, let us know if any, that concern. I said, wow, this is a great town. And also,
So Vincent from Bizu?
Vincent from Bizu,
He
Vincent
said
Becker.
open his house to you and Kathy.
He said, yeah, he said, he and Jerry Newman from Albemarle Baking Company,
Yeah.
they were worried about me and Kathy. That night we had an incident. We lived at Montview Drive. Somebody threw an egg out our window. It was a kid from around the corner. And this town is very supportive when they see somebody in trouble. You know what I mean? And from there, I learned one thing. You cannot just take, you know, they taught me, in New York I used to do that, but here it's reinforced. Charlottesvillians are generous. That's what made me, like, during my few months, I haven't generated any really income. That's why I have to say it officially. Bashir's brick and mortar, the store will close at the end of September. We're closing the restaurant, but we are still doing our hams, our catering, everything. My website is still active. It's sad to say that. And going back to, instead of making money, with the help of some people like a church, with David Petit, with a lot of people, they gave me money and I had some money. We ended up feeding the needy. You will never believe the people who are in need. You think it's certain type. These are your regular people on a daily basis who come to a restaurant, some of them. And if you don't have the decency to help them, you shouldn't be in business. You know what I mean? The old saying, one hand cannot clap. It's a community. We have to care for each other. I just don't want to be distracted because something that distracted me is, I told you, is the problem with the city about more restrictions about...
We'll put that aside for now. I will
Yeah.
ask you about that. The decision to close a restaurant at the end of September that bears your name, Bashir's, a restaurant that's fed tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, a restaurant that's been written up in the New York Times,
Twice.
a restaurant twice, a restaurant that is an institution in downtown Charlottesville. Tracy Lee Shiflett says a day without a smile is a day wasted. Bashir embodies a smile every day.
Thank you.
Okay. The decision to close. How did you go to there?
But I haven't been able to pay my rent on a regular basis for the last few months. And the city of Charlottesville, specifically Rick Siebert and Chris Engels, have been very supportive. We deferred the rent, deferred, but I reached a point where my negative is way superior to my positive. So we came to the conclusion, you know, we came to a mutual agreement, good terms. My wife and my wife was my partner, terrific partner. Boy, I'm glad I have her, I'll tell you. She's actually running the show with my grandson, Michael. And we came to terms, we said, we getting rid of the restaurant, the store, but we're still doing our things because we still have people depending on us. The food, people with dietary restrictions, people who like Mediterranean food. I don't do just like what you call ethnic food. I try to combine techniques, try to combine style, ingredients, things like that. As far as even India, all the techniques, the tarka and things like that, and try to infuse them the way we cook. We even have some unorthodox techniques of cooking that reveal to be positive for me. Like people ask me, how come your chicken is so tender? I'm not going to tell them until I read the cookbook, guys.
That secret is for you.
Actually, it was not even my idea, the cookbook. I think I told you, a customer last week told me, he said, when are you going to write your cookbook? I said, to be honest with you, I had to check with Kathy. Kathy said, let's go for it.
That's awesome.
Hey, it's another way of sharing with people. You leave something in writing, so in case we're not available to do it for them, at least you just refer to the book. Yeah, and the baklava will be in there too.
People love his baklava.
Yeah.
Give Bashir a like and a share on any of these Facebook pages. You got people already giving you props, which is a testament to you. Tim Cotton, welcome to the program. Olivia, hello. Barbara says, a sad day for Charlottesville. My friend, Alex Asher, watching from Texas. Freddie Jackson, hello. Chris Allen, hello. Bashir, the show's blowing up. A testament to you. Eric Gunderson says, a cookbook from Bashir. I love it, and I will buy it.
Thank you.
My friend, spending this professional journey with a beautiful, intelligent, and dynamic woman named Kathy.
Yep.
Put that journey in perspective for us.
I call her my secret weapon. You know, I'm a Leo, and I think they say in the sun sometimes we get carried away.
I'm a Leo too. I can
We
relate.
try to do too many things at the same time.
We do.
You know, we're creative, entrepreneurial, and Kathy keeps me grounded. Like sometimes I do things. Alex knows he's listening. I come up with a recipe, for example, and I look at it and said, "Yeah, I think this is good," and I give it to Kathy, my conscience. She said, "I will not serve that to a customer." Bluntly, she doesn't take. She said, "I will not serve that to a customer. I think you should work on it." And when things are positive, she comes to me, "Sweetheart, I think this is great. Whatever. You need somebody there, not playing violin, but tell you that it's raining. Cover yourself. You know, somebody who's grounded, realistic." And I have a slight bout of ADD. I didn't know until
We are so similar.
I was
so similar.
actually, I didn't even know that. It has to be my doctor, Dr. Maloney, would talk and send me to somebody. He said, "You have a slight bout." I said, "You haven't seen me alone with the guitar." And
If people only knew. But don't you thrive on the organized chaos?
oh God,
It's a rush, right?
you have to be there when we have Beleza Brazil.
They've come on the show.
Oh, yeah, they came. Oh,
Yeah.
they're
They're a
amazing.
beautiful couple.
Oh, you kidding? I adore them. Umberto, if you're watching, they're amazing. Umberto, I have to say this with without any reservation. I think is the best musician in town. I'll give you an example. In his style, by the way, guitar. One day, excuse me, I have to.
Sure.
One day, I had George Turner and another fellow, great guitar player. It was on a Friday, right after everything was gone. They were playing jazz. It was a classic, a standard. What's it? The Shadow You Smile, one of those. And Umberto passed by to see me, just say hello. And I introduced it to them. I said, "Guys, you don't mind if he sits with you?" I asked him. Oh boy, Umberto started flying. You know, the chord progression. And this is one of the rare musicians that I know in my life, and I've been around, from Errol Parker to so on. Umberto will get into a crazy rhythm of improvisation, but will come back right on the beat. Right. Never loses it. But when we get there, he brings the worst out of me. We just keep on going and playing percussions, and sometimes we have Art Wheeler and some musician drove by. That's the craziness. We just go nuts. But it's fun.
Alex says, "I'm so excited to see what's next for Bashir and my grandfather. The sky is the limit for Bashir." My friend.
May I say something to Alex?
Please.
Alex, I love you, and I'm so proud of you that you're so successful in Texas. Keep on doing it. You're a trendsetter. Don't follow.
I agree. Alex, I remember when you were a freshman on the Western Albemarle football team, and I saw you personally mature and develop, and then you matriculated to St. Anne's Belfield and started turning into a man, and now you're married to a beautiful better half. You're an entrepreneur, and you're a phenomenal person. Alex, I'm also proud to call you a friend.
You know what's strong about Alex? He could have followed the career of football.
Right.
And yet, with the help of his dad, and they followed the whole
Oliver.
family. They're all involved in some kind of business or not. Even Michael, who was a young kid, just high school, is involved in a business on his own.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
How about, I'll throw this to you, and you have Rebecca Downey watching.
Oh.
Dr. Downey, she says, "I love Bashir's." You have
Thank you.
Dr. John from Pro Renata watching. He is giving you props right now. How difficult a decision was it to close the restaurant?
Are you kidding me? Oof.
Put in perspective what the restaurant means
Oh,
to you.
yeah. it took me a while. I didn't want to give up because maybe I'm naive. I always look for the positive. Things will happen. Things will happen. You keep on doing your work. Like I worked without staff, come in early, leave in late, doing everything, cleaning the toilet, doing it. But I wanted to be there because deep down, you know that there are people relying on you. There are people who need your service. You cannot just say, "Oh, I'm not getting customers," and then just stay home. Stay home what? Watching TV? Right. Or counting bees wherever passing by. So I decided to stick around. But still, I kept a clear channel communication with other restaurants, to be through Facebook, through phone calls. The most is Michael Roddy from Rapture.
Sure.
Who's going through a hardship just like all of us.
Sure.
What makes the beauty of Charlottesville is us. I don't care what anybody, because I do recall 1996 when I moved in here and I opened Blackstone. Charlottesville downtown mall was like the Sahara, a desert.
What do you mean by that? Paint the picture.
You want coffee? Coffee exchange. You want a sandwich? The Pewter store there, whatever was Bagby took over. There weren't many places. There was Woolworth, and you can get a sandwich there, by the way. You know, there was Woolworth. Oh, no, they had the cafeteria. There weren't many places. There was the Pita Pocket around the corner. So it was like a routine. There was no choices. To the exception of Vincent and Tim.
Oh, then it wasn't Bizou, right?
No, it was Metropolitan.
The Metropolitan.
Yes. And also the fellow who opened Memory and Company. Remember that place?
I don't. That was before my time.
Yeah, now it's Bang.
Okay.
He went, I think, he went to the Downtown Grill, became a chef there.
Okay, and Vincent and Tim took over Bang, the spot for Bang.
Exactly. A few years later. And then you had the CNO.
Right. Dave Simpson.
Dave Simpson. Rest his soul. Dave was in charge. And then you had the Clifton Inn, and what's the other place? You had Aberdeen Bar. But as far as gourmet food, Vincent and Tim, I think, were the innovator in Charlottesville. Nobody was they were doing the small plates and everything. And Thomas.
And Barbara at Lunger, it says, don't forget Timberlake's.
Yes. Timberlake, that's a very soft spot for me. You know,
too.
I have a sweet tooth, but I can't now because of sugar. I used to go to that place.
For the milkshakes?
Oh, you're kidding. And the Coke with cherry and things like in New York. Timberlake is a real institution. I hope we'll never lose them. Are they closing? I heard.
Are they?
Closed.
Yeah.
What a loss. That's incredible. And the people who worked at Timberlake, their jams. So there wasn't much of a choice. The trendsetters at that time, besides Tim, Thomas Rahal. Thomas, people that sometimes have a tendency to overlook him. Thomas is an incredible creative chef. I can never give him enough credit. I ate his food when he was at Rapture. He will come, I'll cook for him, and I will go to Rapture, he will cook. And he's a good man. He's so creative. Thomas deserved to have a top place. He will handle it easily. So laterly, gradually I saw Charlottesville, new businesses more or less coming in, more and more and more. At that time, there was not a single cafe outside. When we opened the first cafe, it was for free. Suddenly, the city saw a source of income, and they started making us pay for it. Something that was void, nobody used.
Right.
We started $1, then $2, then $3. We fought back, but to no avail. A certain time, they used the restaurant to try and fill up a gap that existed between in the city's budget to accommodate the schools. That put us in a position like a Grinch. You don't want to pay more to help the schools. That was
put you in a rock and a hard place.
That's not the right attitude. The right attitude, you call for help, but don't try to put a guilt trip on people who made this mall what it is.
Right. You guys created the heartbeat of Charlottesville. When it was, I remember, so I arrived in Charlottesville in 2000. I was the first year at UVA. I had come to Charlottesville multiple times because my dad went to the university. And he had such a fabulous time at UVA and was such a sports fan that he would bring my brother and I, who is 18 months younger than me, to Charlottesville. And we'd go to football games. We would eat at White Spot and the Little John's.
Yes.
And he used to say he was born in 1950 and graduated from UVA in 1972. He said, when I was in school, the downtown mall was a place you never went. He said the Jefferson Theater used to be almost like an X-rated movie theater. And then when we started going to Charlottesville in the 90s, we would occasionally go downtown. A lot of times, especially at night, we felt unsafe. And then I remember when I came to UVA in 2000, my buddy and I were looking for some trouble, and we left grounds and we went to downtown because we wanted to hear Agents of Good Roots play Miller's.
Okay.
Okay, so we walk into Miller's in
I forgot
2000.
Miller's, sorry.
Yeah, we walk into Miller's in 2000, Bashir, and we literally, as we were walking in, were screamed at saying students aren't welcome here. Now it's completely different, and it's because of people like you and Vincent and Dave, the Finazzos and Sal's Cafe Italia helped do this.
Sal's institution.
Can you give us the flip book of what you saw in downtown Charlottesville?
The period you're talking about, prior to that, rather, a few years earlier, the mall did not have good reputation because the type of crowd that was hanging around the mall and control, the police control, order was non-existent. There was one police officer who did her best. Her name is Victoria, I think Jackson,
Okay.
or Johnson. She was an African-American officer. People respected her, everything. But at that time, Woolworth was attracting kind of, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't put it mildly, delicately, but undesirable by the businesses.
That's fair.
That's how they look at it. Plus, you had some vendors who will come and sell things that are being duplicated in all the stores. It's not like here where there's a better control. You allow vendors for Christmas and things like that. But these people were selling the same thing that were reflected in the adjacent businesses. What happened, it was not a savory environment. The word was, even I heard it from members of my family, oh, the mall, you don't want to go there late night. You know what I mean? Then Woolworth closed. And then we started to see a trend, I wouldn't call it gentrification, but slightly improvement. The building where the downtown grill is among the very first one I recall, that started changing, like improving. Then Chuck, the guy who owned Cathy's Produce, who owns the, across from Miller, that...
Give us Chuck's name in the stream. Someone will help us out with that. Someone will help us. One of the viewers will tell us.
I think it's Chuck Taylor, is it? Anyway, Chuck started working on improving the building. He had the reputation of impeccable buildings. We started seeing that. And then businesses started coming in, all kinds. And we felt more uncomfortable taking risks. I remember when I was at the place, Charlie's Kibish place, when the first time I introduced the ham, some people didn't know it. And I think the best compliment I ever got was Gabe Silverman.
Olivia says Chuck Lewis.
Chuck Lewis. Thank you, Olivia.
Olivia
Love
Branch,
you.
the best.
Yes, she's the best. Chuck Lewis is impeccable landlords. You know, we all had, like, I don't want to give you names. Certain landlords had the building just renting. But Chuck established the standards.
He cared.
Exactly. He honored me by celebrating his birthday from time to time at my place. That was the biggest compliment. But Chuck had this sense of aesthetic. You cannot find one property belonging to Chuck Lewis that was not high class. He did his best. And then he was followed. Remember that time, the guy who built the skating rink?
The ice park. Yeah.
Dan,
also helped make the downtown grill a reality, right?
Yes. What's his name again, man? We were all talking about him then.
Olivia, jump in here and jump
Sorry,
on.
I'm 70, Olivia.
And this was a little bit before my time, so I learned from you.
Thank you. The guy, he was doing that too. He was an innovator, Renaissance. But that trend of Renaissance has not died. It still exists now. Because, I'm sorry if I'm jumping the point, in spite of the hardship we're faced with on Downtown Mall, you got guys who are investing, like Hunter Smith and all this.
Yeah.
These guys have my respect because there was something special on the mall. They know it. They're visionaries. These guys, they really want to invest in the future. a lot of people started giving up on the mall. And my biggest fear, as we were talking this morning, I hope we never go back to pre-1996, because that's, you know.
Folks are saying, Bashir, put in spotlight Danielson from Ike Allen.
Yes.
Ike Allen saying Danielson. Thank you, Lee Danielson.
Lee Danielson,
Thank
exactly.
you, Ike Allen, very much. The re-bricking of the downtown mall and how the re-bricking of the mall how about how it turned it first for the positive?
For the positive, it's fine, but there was a negative in that period. The positive is that, you know, there was a lot of part of the mall kind of needed some improvement. That did help. That did help.
When did that happen?
That was, I think, just when I moved into the new place.
Okay.
The first year. We used to have a joke, you know, about because it took a long time, everything. We look at it, we say, you get what you pay for. Because it was not that tight. Excuse me, guys, I'm trying to say something positive about this mall. When they did the work on the mall, the rebricking, there was some imperfections,
Sure.
but it's fine. You know, it was fixed. But it helped the mall, but it hurt the businesses.
Sure.
Because you couldn't have access to that. I know I got hurt that because you had the mall and then you had the building of the pavilion, and I was right there.
Right, so you got hit twice.
Oh gosh, I had to borrow money to survive, I swear to God. Because the pavilion was beside the dust, the noise, and nobody wanted to sit outside. But you have to look at it this way. It's going to be better in the future. They're going to remember I don't know if you remember what the pavilion was before.
I came to Charlottesville in 2000. Now, I do remember a time when Fridays After 5 was on the other side of the mall. And then the idea was to let's use this piece of property where the pavilion is now to try to drive traffic and interest and Red Light and Corn in the city do a joint venture to create the pavilion as we know, as it is. I want to learn. Talk to me about what you remember.
Yeah, I think those are great ideas, okay? The pavilion before was a teeny tiny stage. People will sit on there. It was actually sponsored or more or less taken care of by the Downtown Foundation.
Right, Downtown Business Owners Association.
No, beside that, there was the Downtown Foundation, was a nonprofit run by Terry Shotwell, who used to own the Nook.
Okay.
Actually, I might have a picture here because, this is my friend Terry. You know, I went to a funeral, and I remember I always keep her picture because I have such a high respect for Terry. This is Terry.
Let's do this. I'll grab this picture. You keep going. Judah, I'm going to pass this picture to you and see if we can get that on the Judah
Terry,
camera.
you know, nobody remembers Terry, but Terry was the driving force on the mall. I have to give her credit for what the mall is now. Everybody gives credit to Huja and the other Satya.
The former mayor of Charlottesville.
Former mayor, member of city council. Huja has to his credit, beside organizing the mall, he wanted to bring outside businesses to an event called the Charlottesville Cultural Festival. We used to have food on what's now the downtown, the pavilion. People will have the display of food all around, music. Once he brought this belly dancing from Richmond. We had incredible musicians, talent from university, local talent, Fridays After 5. It was not a great thing. The pavilion came in. Most of it was paid by the city. Half of it was with Corn Cap Show, whatever. It took a long time.
Sure.
It took a long time, but it put us on the map. The caliber of musicians we had at that time. One thing I can't forget is Dwight Yoakam with his sound system.
Right.
Willie Nelson, Crosby, Stills and Nash. All of them. It put us on the map.
Sure.
I mean, suddenly at the mall, you see big stars, big celebrities. Charlottesville is a place also, guys, where you don't know who you come across, a surprise, and suddenly it's a big star. I remember once I was at the restaurant, and you never believe who comes in. There was a concert at the Pavilion, Eric Clapton.
Stop.
With Robert Cray Jr. So I'm helping customer, and I said, this fellow Shy comes in like this, and he said, I just want a table. I looked at him, turned him over. I said, sweetheart, we have a legend here. We have Robert Cray Jr. I said, sir, sit there. I'll take care of you.
Did the hostess know?
No, nobody knew.
You knew?
No, because I love blues, I love jazz. And that man is a legend. His sound is unique with his Fender, it's just unique. So he sat down, I brought him his food and everything. He said, "Are you coming to the concert tonight?" I said, "I'm really sorry, I can't afford it." It was like 100 and something. He said, "Give me your name and when you come back, there will be 2 tickets for you."
And did he deliver on his word?
It's not finished. I get to the JPJ when they were playing, and I realized I didn't have my wallet with me. And I'm standing online, and I told the girl, "I'm really sorry." He left tickets for me. He said, "No, we know." Before I say anything, 3 people behind me, "Oh, we know him. He is where he is. He has a restaurant downtown." I said, "Gee, only in Charlottesville."
That's beautiful.
That was beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
How's that make you feel?
Makes me feel great. I told you I love this. That's why I don't mind doing what I do for the community. I feel I owe them. But coming back to you mentioned about the pavilion, the movie theater, everything. They put Charlottesville on the map. And the restaurant we have an incredible people. Unless you're a foodie, people will not know the quality, the caliber of food we have in this town. We have extremely talented chefs who can be in any big city without any problem.
We have the photo of Terry ready to go. Should we put it on screen? Put the photo, if you could, Judah Wickower is our fabulous director, on screen. Tell us about Terry. So what you are showing, is it the pamphlet that was passed out at Terry's funeral?
Yes.
And Terry is whom again?
Terry Shotwell
Okay.
used to live right above the Nook. The Nook was her baby. And also Terry was the ambassador for the mall. She was at the head of Downtown Foundation with Tony Laboa from, and the credit for the downtown mall to be where it is goes to Terry. Nobody wants to talk about it. They talk about the big guys.
They talk about Lee and Hooja.
Yeah. This is the lady. When I opened my business across the street from her, first thing she did is brought some flowers to me, plants and everything. She said, "Welcome." She said, "You're a great addition to," she didn't even know my food or whatever. She said, "I know you're a great addition to the downtown mall." That woman did her best to make sure the new businesses are welcome. I mean, she was a driving source, so we have to give credit when credit is due. A woman making change in Charlottesville.
Amen.
That's one, we have a tendency to forget what the creativity that, nowadays women are changing the world, but I hope people will open their eyes. Look at the COVID-19 in different countries. Look, I'm going to be political, guys.
You don't have to be here.
Thank you.
You don't have to be.
Good.
This is a safe spot.
Thank you. A good example.
Please.
I'm going to be hated here. There are a lot of women who are competent. Why are we reluctant to accept them? If we can get that virus we have in the mind, precondition, we grew up, men's opinion is different, is superior to, we see it's still valid, I see it around me, to women. And yet, we've been created equal, the same blood, the same thing, we got same brain, everything. It's just the reluctance to put the woman where she belongs.
Amen.
It's sad. I have 2 granddaughters, and if anybody questions their competence, they will have to deal with me first.
I love that from Bashir.
They're amazing. You know Anna Asher. She's an athlete, and her sister Emily.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Emily is married with 2 kids. She's incredible, disciplined, amazing. Anna was a top star volleyball, good student, and loves what she's doing.
My friend, walk us through the conversation you had with Kathy.
About the business.
About closing.
Yeah. We thought about it this way. Kathy said, "We're getting old." I said, "I realize."
And you're 70?
That. Yeah, I'm 70.
And Kathy is a beautiful 47-year-old woman?
Oh, guys, I'm sorry, I'm a gentleman. I don't think my wife would appreciate saying her age.
She's 42 years old?
41. Yeah, we're both young chicks. Yeah, we discussed it realistically. We saw our finances in a very questionable situation. We can't pay the rent. We don't see people come in. I see still my regular sum, and then we decided it's better for us. We don't want to leave a negative legacy to our kids, being a burden. We decided the best way to do is keep on providing what we've been doing. Our ham, everybody knows us for our ham on the mall for the holidays, the lines for that.
Sure.
And our food, also our food, I don't think anybody, even though there are people who say Mediterranean, it's fine. There is this notion of ethnic versus Mediterranean. If you're a Greek restaurant, you're a Greek. If you're Turkish, you're Turkish. If you're Italian, whatever you are. But to call yourself Mediterranean, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to be more or less able to reflect the cuisine of the basin, the whole basin. Whether you can do the Italian coast, you do that. North Africa, Morocco, Tunisia, Greece, Spain. If you can do Turkey, if you can do some of that cuisine, using the techniques, using the ingredients you feel comfortable with, without any additives, without any sugar, without anything that might enhance the flavor of your food, not natural, fine. You're not welcome, you are one. But if you're going to be duplicating what exists and call yourself Mediterranean, I don't feel comfortable with that image. I don't think, I remember Reed Nagel, Reed,
sure.
The founder of SNL.
Yes.
When we moved in the first time, because you have to be humble. You make your food, people say it's good, whatever, but it can't let it go to your head. Every day is a new day, and you have to think that you're not the only one who can provide this. Maybe you can provide better service, but
humility.
You have to. That's a key word. If you think you're an exception, boy.
Which is easy to do in food, right?
Is
that fair?
That's why I laugh at people who criticize restaurant and everything. I say to myself, even if you have a fine palate, if you're going to criticize a restaurant, you have to be equal or better than the person who made the food. And be honest to go to them and tell them, look, guys, I have a problem with this, but don't hide behind the screen and put it on the thing. I don't like this. I mean, I'm fortunate. I don't think you read many negative reviews on us. I do weddings and rehearsal. I have never, ever, ever had one negative review. Count my blessing, thanks to my wife.
And how about this? The folks that have something, whether it's any restaurant in America, the folks that have an issue with the food that's in front of them at a restaurant in America, get off your damn phones and talk to the restaurant owner.
It helps them.
Talk to the owner.
It helps them.
99% of the owners of the restaurants, and you and I know a lot of them, they will fix it immediately.
Of course.
Don't hurt them online.
Yeah, this is not New York. New York will be surprised, but Charlottesville will do it. I love New York, but there are stories when we were there like, you don't return the food. But here, you go and see the owner. They'll be happy, but you don't go. Like somebody put a review about a negative review that was brought to my attention about one of my favorite restaurants in Charlottesville. And I'm going, something is
doesn't
wrong.
add up.
No, it's unless the person has a vendetta or it's another business or a total idiot.
Right.
I mean, you have to appreciate that somebody is providing you something you cannot get somewhere else. Look at it that way instead of saying, oh, you're an expert and you're going to put it down.
The fabulous Kelly Lewis watching. Anja, the restaurateur at Fig Bistro, is watching. Claire Francis says, hello, Bashir.
She's a gem. I love her.
She's saying the same thing about you. Scott, the fabulous attorney, is watching in Virginia Beach. He's giving you props on your food.
Thank you.
Bashir, the concept of Bashir's living strong and moving forward is front and center with your mind. How do you and Kathy keep the legacy of a fabulous brand going?
Actually, we're not going to disappear out of the surface.
Right.
No. We already have a place we're moving into mid-August in Keswick. We have part of it will be for catering, for our hams, also writing the cookbook and working on new recipes. We're not going to stop. And we've been gifted, thank God. I have to thank God for that. We've been gifted. Why waste it? We're going to pass it on to our grandkids. Actually, excuse me, I open humor. We're going on as a family vacation in mid-August. And Emily, my granddaughter from North Carolina, already has a food competition among members of the family. We're going to compete in teams.
Wait, you're telling me your family is competitive? No way, Jose.
Listen, the Ashers...
They are so competitive.
The Ashers, oh my gosh.
They love to compete.
I love them. I love them. They don't settle for an average stuff. Thanks to Oliver and Andrea, the parents.
Right.
They're
Oliver,
amazing.
former UVA football player?
Former UVA football player. Yes, engineer, graduated in engineering from UVA.
Right.
Andrea graduated from UVA. Great nurse at Martha Jefferson for years. And she's the rock of the family, even Kathy and I included. Andrea is the force behind the whole, she's just a gem.
I've met her before, and I 1,000% agree with you.
You know, when people ask me, when I tell them my daughter works at Martha Jefferson, how is she? How does she look like? I said, look for the most beautiful girl. There, that's
Beautiful.
how. She's
Takes
beautiful.
after Kathy.
Oh, yeah. She takes after Kathy.
My friend, the future of the downtown mall. Anywhere you want to go on that topic.
It's good, as long as people don't take it for granted and react. Write to the city council, write to whoever can affect the change of the mall. Do it. Do not be complacent and say, oh, it's going to be fixed. No. If you don't take it in your own hand and initiate some reaction and protect the great stuff that we have, whether it's a restaurant, whether any are the art institutions. Without art, this town will be dead also. We cannot. I took liberty yesterday to send a letter to the city council, more or less making them aware of the situation.
Yesterday, the city council, if you guys aren't watching, along with Albemarle County, reverted us from phase 3 to a hybrid of 2 and 3. The businesses that are undoubtedly most impacted by this step back in phasing are restaurants.
You know what? It's something that, that drove me nuts.
Please.
By the governor's decision, the previous one. A restaurant can open full scale, but you have to keep the 6 feet distance. Okay, now,
Right.
am I dumb or explain? Somebody from there, please explain to me how feasible is it. And then you have the example of restaurant in Charlottesville. They go by the book. I was at Veritas and I was at Blue Mountain this weekend.
Nice.
People were doing a great job, spacing everything. Everything was doing great. As soon as they go into an inside space, like a space inside, they wear a mask. Charlottesville, I don't know any of the few restaurants that are open, I don't know a single one of them that does not go by the book. Space, mask, safe distance.
Because it's their livelihood.
Exactly.
They're running these businesses like their mortgages depend on it, which they literally do.
That's exactly, you remind me, a question once, a fire department was visiting, when they inspect the restaurant, they look at my place and say, wow, your place is really clean, everything. I said, I'm always here, it's my business, my livelihood.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Right.
You give 100% your livelihood, so you fight for it.
Do you believe in bad luck?
You create it. You create it.
How about the concept of luck in a time of COVID?
I don't believe in luck, to be honest with you.
Okay, I'd love to explore that.
I believe that you make your own. You work hard enough, whatever. Sometimes it's beyond you, beyond your possibility, and then you just go along, like Confucius said. Just then when there's nothing you can do about it, you do your best.
Is that what's happening now?
What's happening now? No, we can do something.
Okay.
Because why should it be from top down? If the city council, because it's a special condition situation where they more or less they're all locked in, they have to do. There's got to be a forum. There's got to be a thing when we can give our feedback. I wonder how many of them are going to eat at the restaurant. I'm hurting so bad you have no idea. That's one of the reasons Kathy and I decided. We gave it quite a run.
You did.
We just have to be realistic and stop. But I don't want to see any institutions that just started and they're doing a great job for them all, the food, everything. You don't want to kill them right away. And also take into account, in terms of employment, people who depended on us.
Right.
They're amazing staff.
Literally, guys, restaurants, I'll straight up say this. I think restaurants in Charlottesville and Albemarle County employ the most people in the area not named University of Virginia.
But also the competence of these people.
Right.
There's one thing I have to say. The people working in restaurants in Charlottesville are amazing. They're not the run of the mill like you go places, a guy who has time to wait, I need a job. You see the wait staff in most restaurants, maybe not one, I'm sorry guys, I won't tell you the name, where they're not eager to please the client. They make you feel good because they realize something like one of the girls told me, I represent you outside. That's the best expression. I represent you outside. Means I'm in the kitchen, I don't have to worry. That's the kind of people we have, and they're very good. And also the event going more or less to promote and help these competent people, like best bartender, best thing.
Right.
It's amazing.
The entire concept of working in the restaurant business is serving other people with a genuine, caring heart. And people that literally do this for a career, serving other people with a genuine, caring heart, those are the people we need in our community, because if they're serving people with a genuine, caring heart, they're going to do the same thing for Charlottesville.
Like somebody once told me something that stayed with me my whole life. Sandy, the owner of Daedalus
Sandy McAdams, C&O.
When he created C&O, nobody knows that.
Right. Dave gets a lot of the props.
Yeah.
Sandy McAdams, first generation.
McAdam is a class act.
Right.
He is a humble. Do you know with all his body paralyzed, he's a playwright?
And Sandy McAdams, for those don't know, the gentleman behind the bookstore on the corner of
Daedalus.
Market and 4th.
Yes.
I see him almost every day.
Yes. He is an example of why you should not complain. If a guy who is paraplegic, can find time to write a play, to be there, to advise people on book, he's just an amazing character. Anyway, he gave me an advice first time when he came in. He came to eat at my place. And he liked the food, okay? He was very polite, very humble. He said 2 things I got you have to remember. Don't take... I'm not too close, am I?
A little close. We want to hear you. We want to hear you.
He said, do not take any customer in Charlottesville for granted. He said, you'll be surprised how knowledgeable they are. He said, maybe not the more, but I'll tell you one thing, they are. And he told me something else. I'm trying to remember the second one. He said, bear in mind, they pay your rent.
Right.
That's an advice I will give to any business owner.
Amen.
You know what I mean? You can provide food, but bear in mind, they pay your rent, they pay things, so give them the best you can give. Because there's one notion that everybody who's an entrepreneur here knows that. You don't go into the business to make money. Money is not the
relationships.
The money, if it comes, it comes. But do not go into business just with the thing, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to make money. You're going to be really disappointed.
Michael Asher, your grandson, watching.
Oh, I love him.
He says, Bashir is a stud.
Whoa, I thought you were Michael.
Michael says Bashir, and I echo that, Michael Asher. I echo that. I love your grandfather. I love your grandfather.
I love him, actually.
You have 16 restaurant owners watching you now.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure. Michael, actually, since now we live together, he's going to be my student. He's going to learn some music with me. We made a plan. I gave him a brand new Washburn. And he can use my instruments too.
I have a number of people asking you to sing. We will get to that. I'll ask him. I will ask him if he wants to sing.
I wish Madalena was on.
It would be great, right?
We sing together. I love singing with her.
She makes any room beautiful, vibrant, and dynamic, right? And with her talents, Bashir?
2 people in Charlottesville impressed me voice-wise. Madalena and the singer from the Acme Swing Group. She's a nurse, Martha Jefferson. Roberta, was it?
Someone put her name in the feed. I don't know who he's talking about. Someone let us know who he's talking about.
She's short-haired. Oh, my God. That woman, I heard her in my place. They came to play. And then it was late night, around 12. She had 1, 2, 3 glasses of wine. Oh, my God. Then the beauty started coming out. She black. I could not close the restaurant. I just stayed there, bewitching.
Right. And you have been such a phenomenal ambassador for music in our community. Kelly Lewis, who's watching this show, huge fan of Kelly Lewis. She says, I'm loving this. I love learning more about the history of downtown and how it came to be. As a local member of the Charlottesville restaurant industry for the past 15 years, it is truly heartwarming to hear so much truth spoken and credit given to the industry. That includes all our musicians, all our local venues, all our restaurants, and all our businesses that intertwine. And she's exactly right. They are all one and the same.
They are one and the same.
Can I throw that to you?
Yes, sir. I'll give you an example. She just brought something very delicate.
And do it here. Do it this way.
Charlottesville,
okay.
Actually, remember my concern when I came to Charlottesville? I thought about music. I'm going to leave my friends.
You were coming from the Big Apple to Charlottesville.
Exactly. I had a great mentor and everything. I came to Charlottesville, fine, teach you everything. The first thing we did, the new place, make sure every Friday we had jazz. Vernon Fisher would get some jazz musicians with him, though we need a serious venue for jazz because Charlottesville has incredibly talented jazz musicians. You throw a piece of paper, is there any jazz musician like
you
this?
hit 18 of
them. Top. We had Hard O'Brien passed away, a legend. You know, we have, you name it, Mr. Dirt, John Dirt. We have that. You name it. John is a very generous person. I remember once we were celebrating the 30th anniversary of the mall. I was part of the group with the downtown, with the city, the Downtown Foundation to organize it. Somebody was eager to bring a group from Richmond. You know what I mean? Bring a group from Richmond to Charlottesville. Is this a joke, a musical group? So I suggested to him, I said, you guys do realize we have a plethora and we have incredible talent in town. He said, who wants to be? I said, I'll take care of it. I went to see John Dirth, explained to him the problem. You know what John did? Call so-and-so on my behalf, call so-and-so on my behalf. He got to. Next thing, we had a big stage by Central Place. So we had Hard O'Brien, Pete Spahn, John Dirth, Robert Jospe, George Turner.
The best of the best.
Oh, my God. Caliber like that.
Barbara says the name that you were looking for is Mary Beth.
Yes.
When social media is used for the positive, isn't it beautiful?
Mary Beth, I hope she agrees with me, has one of the most beautiful voices.
Is she right? Is that who you were referencing?
Yes, Mary Beth Rivak.
Yeah.
She's a nurse. I'll tell you, you have to hear this woman to believe me. She's an incredible singer, chiefly when she's with the Acme Swing Company. And you were talking about the phenomenon of music on the mall. Restaurants started more or less being into quality from Vincent and everybody. We didn't have, excuse me guys, those who are into burger joints, I'm not putting you down. But at that time, there was a bifurcation, I will call it, into more serious food. And we started seeing serious magazine being considering Charlottesville. I remember Thomas was mentioned, Thomas Rahal from Mass.
Yeah, Mas Tapas, who's now Quality Pie.
Yes, because Mass, for me, Mass without Thomas is no Mass.
Right.
No Mass.
I agree with that. No Mas, because Thomas is not there.
You can't fill up those shoes easily. Right. You can't fill up shoes of a giant like that.
I took my wife on our first date in Charlottesville to Mas Tapas when Tomas was running it. Would you like some more water?
I think I would.
Can we get him some more water, JW? Thank you, Judah Wickauer. He's the backbone of this show. Judah,
man, you're good for something finally.
He's good for so much at this show. We got it on the two-shot, J-Dubs. We do. Thank you so much. Jeff Camrath is watching. Chris Mason is watching. 19 restaurant owners on the feed, I'm being told here. Kelly Lewis just shared the show. Thank you, Kelly, for doing this. Astrid Bailey says, go Bashir, go.
Astrid and her husband get the credit for starting the salsa club.
The fabulous guitarist Vincent Zorn watching the program.
Zorn is giant.
He's a giant.
He's a giant. Hey, listen, Jeff is, it's amazing.
I am, going to ask you to sing.
I will.
You're a talented
Thank
man.
you. That's very kind of you. I'm out of practice.
I'd like to throw this to you. 36 years old. Okay. Father, husband. Like you, a lot of skin in the game downtown. I'm a little nervous. This is me saying this. This is not you. I'm concerned with leadership. That's me saying it, not you.
Leadership, locally or national?
Leadership, both.
Yeah.
Certainly locally. I'll leave it. We don't have to go down that road. We know that 6 people in the county and 5 people in the city, 11 people total, are determining what happens to Albemarle and Charlottesville. It scares the bejeebus out of me. Tell me why that is not why I should be thinking.
It's legit. Your concern is legit. The mall, Charlottesville and the county are not where they used to be. It's bigger than them. That's how I look at it.
I agree.
I will not worry about the mall because there's something you forget is the resilience of the American spirit. I'm fortunate to have traveled, to have known other nationalities. I speak languages. But Americans are a different breed. They bounce back in terms of hardship. You can't just easily bring them down and say they're done. No way. We went through a lot of crises before. We bounced back. As long as we have these visionary people that I mentioned before, who are not afraid to invest in the future, as long as we have the motivation and the drive of the stakeholders, restaurant owners, team there, as long as we have the support of the people around, as long as we have a genuine interest and contribution from the university community, we'll be okay. I'm not worried about, I'm worried about the precipitation of the demise of the mall. The mall itself, if left alone, if people are allowed to do what to do, not the restriction that's really detrimental to them staying afloat, that's another problem. But I'm not worried about the mall, really. I'm worried about survival of some small guys who are under strict regulation, not local. That's my biggest concern. Sean Tubbs yesterday wrote back to me.
Tubbs.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Wrote to me about the article. I always said that.
Piedmont Environmental Council, former reporter for Charlottesville Tomorrow,
good
Sean
man,
Tubbs.
good man, good father.
Reach out to you on social media about spotlighting you in his newsletter.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's fine. But what I was trying to convey, I am not disputing the numbers. That's local. But I dispute the sources. That's national, I mean, the numbers, national or state. But I challenge the sources. You cannot just throw it in the air saying, oh, let's close the bars, let's close the restaurant, let's close the stores, let's close this, let's close. I am for those guidelines for the CDC. But if you have to do anything locally, make sure you do your homework first. You cannot just go arbitrarily, let's close this, it's not working. Have you heard of any restaurant in Charlottesville had a case of COVID?
There's been a couple.
In restaurants?
Yes, sir. A couple.
See, that's news to me.
Yeah, there's been a couple.
A couple.
Yes, sir.
But when I go to every single restaurant, I went to Rapture today, I was impressed. I came in, everybody with the mask.
Mike and Cecilia, they do it right.
Excuse me. Yeah, everything. You know, so it gets to me, I said to myself, okay, now you told me we have 1 or 2 cases, but still it's not everything, it's an exception, 1 or 2. But we're doing our job. Work with us, don't push. I'm losing business, actually. I'll give you an example. I have an event that I had to cancel. I have another event that I'm canceling on the 15th. It's a big number. I know I can do work on my side. I know I'll have people going by the book, but still there is this shaky element from people coming from outside for the event. I have no guarantee they will go by the book too. That's a scary thing. But as for going back to the mall before I jump to another point, I wouldn't worry about the mall. I worry about the city doing its job to make sure that these people survive. I'll give you an example. One of the factors that's precipitated my departure, my closing, I didn't get any PPP. I didn't get any CARES. I applied many grants. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to say something that might not be pleasant. In my 40-some years in the US, sometimes I met walls facing me, maybe because of my ethnicity. I don't let them get to me. My survival is, I don't have the problem, they do. So I'll just look the other way, keep smiling, do my work, hard work, and it doesn't work. I'll just reinvent myself like I did many times throughout the year. You cannot be the same every time. There's no way. When I opened the Bashir's Gourmet Takeout, I had some product that suddenly ended up in other places and other restaurants. I was flattered. And after 2 years, I said, hold it, you can't stay at the same path. So Kathy and I put our brains together. A long weekend, we work, new menu. And we keep on doing it every day, every year, every few years. The same thing. Now, that's one of my plans now. I couldn't get all the support, the help, financial help, in spite of making New York Times, making all that stuff. I said, okay, brick and mortar gone. The talent is still there, the skills.
The brand continues.
The brand continues.
It does not have to be tied to this brick and mortar.
I'll do events, I will drive, I will deliver to people.
Love it.
I will go out of my way. My grandkids are great for that. They will help. They're supportive 100%.
Love
you
it.
know Christian,
yeah.
Football player.
Jacked.
He is also with his wife. He just got married.
Yeah.
They are their own business, athletic. They do everything. So I'm surrounded by good people. So I'm going to give you 2 more until the end of September, maybe first week. Do my best, get some money so I can pay back the debts that I incurred. And then we'll leave the business, be its own. Like the concept is there, the ideas are there, the people are there. That's it. But the mall, I wouldn't worry. Because I've seen this new influx, people like Wilson Reike, Hunter Smith, and all these people.
Guys like
amazing.
Mitchell Behrens from Lampo and Prime 109. He's watching now. Mitchell Behrens is. You have
Lampo has I don't know if these guys do, but I hear incredible things about Lampo's quality of pizza.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, I haven't had it, guys. My apology, guys.
The day I proposed to my wife, we went and had cocktails at the Downtown Grill, cocktails and an appetizer with Ivan and Andrew at Zocalo. Andrew's not there anymore, just Ivan. It was phenomenal. And then we went to Lampo for a phenomenal pizza, and it was in a phenomenal meal, and they did it absolutely right. They're doing it the right way. Judah, if you can do me a favor, our 145 on the group text, if you can send him a message that we're running 5 minutes late, because we need to hear this man sing. I'm
going to cut it short.
You have many folks on the stream, live on 12 Facebook pages, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, that are asking for Bashir to sing.
Oh, boy.
J-Dubs, how do you want to handle this? Do you prefer sitting or standing when you sing?
Oh, it doesn't make a difference.
Sitting okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is good right here for the sing? Well, 5 minutes on that conference call, 5 minutes late.
I take a request. I'm just kidding.
How about this? Carte blanche, any song you want. And then what I would love to hear is you do the rent. How about, may I ask a request?
Tell me.
Amazing Grace again?
Okay.
Is it, or do you prefer a different one?
No,
because we're a platform of hope, Bashir.
I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to do a few. I'm just kidding. I'm going to start with something else there, and then I'll do Amazing Grace.
Give us a song of hope.
Oh.
We need hope in our lives, don't we? Especially now.
Yeah, I'm going to do a 15th century song that I do with Magdalena.
Okay.
Magdalena, she's amazing when she sings this song. لما بدا يتثنى لما بدا يتثنى أمان 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 وادي ويا حيرتي وادي ويا حيرتي لما ذيك شكوتي إلا مليك الجمال إلا مليك الجمال أمان 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 أمان. That's an old song. It's called Dreams of a Sultan or a King, Andalusia. And the whole story about a love story, who am I going to complain, but I will complain to the Queen of Love. It's a beautiful poem from that period.
How about, you have requests coming in.
Tell me.
The fabulous fairy godmother is asking for Amazing Grace, Barbara Lundgren.
Okay.
April, is it Munez?
Munez, oh.
She's watching. She says, what a treat this interview
Thank
is.
You.
He and Kathy are amazing people. I love Bashir. I was introduced to Bashir by my mentor, Bill Nitchman, who has been instrumental in my life. And he said, we're going to have lunch at this place. And I was sitting across from Bill, and you came over. You introduced yourself to me. You remembered my name from there on out. We had a common connection in Alex Asher.
Bill Nitchman is your mentor.
I'm getting choked up right now.
Bill Nitchman is your mentor. He's a good man.
He's a good man.
I'm going to tell you a story about Bill Nitchman. When I had my surgery on my knee, I couldn't walk, Martha Jefferson. And I was surprised somebody ran, it was Andrea, somebody, they ran a GoFundMe to help my wife while the first contributor, without any hesitation, within a minute, $1,000, Bill Nitchman.
Yeah. He's amazing.
The man is amazing, and he's always eager to help, to give advice, not stingy. Okay, I'm going to sing.
I love you, Bill. I really do. I love this man, Bashir, which I think you can tell. Can we close with Amazing Grace, Judah?
No, before Amazing Grace, I want to do, he said Soul of Hope, something simple.
Okay.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly is creeping. Let it cease while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. Okay. Now we go to Amazing Grace.
You're talented.
Excuse me. I love music. That's all. My father used to sing. Bear with me, guys. No complaint. If you have any complaint, I have a website. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost and I'm found. I think I'll stop it here. I'm inspired. Thank you.
You went out on a high note.
Thank you, guys.
Bashir, I love you.
I love you too, man. But one thing.
It's not goodbye.
It's not goodbye.
It's just having a conversation in a different setting.
I told you I was raised as a Muslim.
Yeah.
In the city of Algiers. I learned one thing about the Prophet. He had somebody made a comment, whatever. He told him, you know what? If it was not up to hope, a mother would never feed her baby. So hope is our best friend, is our companion. It has to be, because if you start getting into those questionable state of mind and give up everything, it doesn't help. We live in a great community.
There's nothing I would rather do right now than give you a hug. And if it wasn't
gladly.
COVID, can I do that?
Yes. We're human beings. If God wills it, it's fine. I love you, brother. I love you, brother. So, guys, when you talk about downtown mall, don't forget Terry Shotwell. She was a man that's like undersung. Nobody mentioned her, but she's So just think that we have a great mall. Let's fight to save it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great asset. It's one of the best things I've seen around. There's this downtown mall.
You are one of the best things.
We're all the best. We're all the. Thank you guys for your support.
Bashir is the best. Continue to support this man. This brand will continue onward. Buy the ham. Say hi to Bashir and Kathy.
Talking about the ham. We're talking about this baby here. Can you see it?
Yeah. He's got it on screen.
That's the Apricot Glazed Ham that made the New York Times twice, 92 and 93.
Buy the ham. Buy the ham. Are we going to have details on the Facebook page?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Like Gabe Silverman said it. And when I told him, there's one fellow from UVA, Dr. Brian Balog. You know of him.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him. He said this ham is kosher. Hey, he said it. He's Jewish. He said, this ham is kosher.
When Judah laughs, I know it's funny. Hey, Judah, one of the best shows we've done.
I'm glad it's one of them. Thank you, guys.
Sir, Bashir, anytime you want.
Thank you for having me.
I mean it.
And thank you for giving me a chance to communicate with the community.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
And talking about communication, this year we are so lucky to have Brian Wheeler. I have never seen anybody communicating. We had Rick, the late Rick, who just passed away last week.
Right.
We had the former mayor, the former city manager.
Yeah. Go to Chapel Hill.
Yeah. Yeah. And now we have Brian Wheeler is amazing.
Director of Communication, City of Charlottesville.
Oh my God.
Someone tell Brian Wheeler we're giving him some love. I agree with him on that.
Oh.
God, I would spend the rest of the day with you unless I had All right, we have to
How
wrap.
about if you come lunch on me, we talk?
Lunch?
I'm serious.
Okay, we will do that.
Seriously.
Thank you.
We can
This
talk.
is the I Love CVille show where we feature gentlemen like Bashir. You guys have a phenomenal afternoon.
You guys have a great afternoon and be safe. That's the key word.
Thank you for joining us,
And
guys.
don't forget to write to the city council, guys.
Please do that. You guys have a good afternoon. Take care. Bashir, you killed it.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Thank you for having me here. You kidding? And you gave me a chance to connect with my grandson who was so far away. So, brother, forget about the call.